First off, I'd like to start off by saying Chris Martin is a little rat and a snake, and Coldplay is the worst band in human history.
Coldplay threw a couple on the kiss cam. Turns out they were having an affair? I don't think even Coldplay can fix this.
They thought it was just a kiss cam, just a harmless joke at a Coldplay concert, but in less than 30 seconds, a billion-dollar empire began to collapse. The CEO of a rising tech company was exposed on the stadium Jumbotron, locked in a suspiciously intimate moment with his own HR director, while 60,000 fans watched in real time. And what happened next was chaos. Apologies flew, accounts vanished, receipts leaked, investors panicked, memes exploded, and in just 2 days, the man at the top lost everything, because this wasn't just a scandal. It was a full-blown corporate implosion triggered by one hug, one camera, and one woman who chose silence over spectacle until she decided to drop the truth and burn everything to the ground. It started with a stadium-wide laugh, a Coldplay concert in full swing, the crowd roaring, cameras panning, and then boom, the Jumbotron locks onto Andy Byron, CEO of Astronomer, sitting suspiciously close to Kristen Kitt, the company's own head of HR. His arm slides around her shoulders like a teenage crush, fingers intertwined like it's date night, and right as Chris Martin drops a playful line. Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. The audience erupts, but the two on screen don't smile. They freeze, Kristen's eyes dart toward the screen. Andy ducks like he's been caught mid-crime, and in that split second, the internet began recording. Because the kiss cam didn't just catch affection, it captured betrayal, a power imbalance, and the beginning of what would become the most humiliating public collapse of a CEO in years. And by the time the concert ended, TikTok was flooded, Reddit threads were exploding, and the hashtag number Coldplaygate had gone fully nuclear. As the confetti settled and the encore faded, the real show began online. Because just hours after the kiss cam moment detonated, Andy Byron released what looked like the perfect apology, polished to the bone, dripping in corporate remorse. He called for privacy and healing, and even quoted Coldplay's own lyrics from Fix You, like that would somehow undo the damage. But then came the twist that made everything worse. A second post, same account, same profile, but this one cocky, sarcastic, mocking Coldplay's playlist and ending with a smug mic drop. And that's when the internet broke. Was the first apology fake? Was the second a hack? Or was this who he really was all along? Suddenly, TikTok duets recited both posts like dramatic scripts. YouTubers turned them into monologues, Reddit sleuths picked apart the metadata, and within minutes, the debate wasn't just about cheating, it was about identity, sincerity, damage control, and the terrifying power of a single bad post to destroy whatever trust was left. And while the world argued over commas and tone, one woman quietly deleted everything, and it hit harder than any PR line ever could. While everyone else was busy dissecting apologies and playing digital detective, Meghan Carrion, the woman who had every right to scream, instead chose silence, and it was deafening. Her first move wasn't a post or a press conference. It was a quiet surgical strike. She changed her Facebook name from Megan Byron to just Megan, no caption, no crying emoji, just a clean cut that said everything louder than words ever could. Then her entire account disappeared. Then her Instagram, gone without warning, and in a world obsessed with oversharing, that vanishing act felt like a thunderclap. Because this wasn't avoidance, it was control. It was power. It was the quiet fury of someone who'd known the truth long before the world caught up. And friends later confirmed it. Meghan had seen the signs, flagged the lies, saved receipts, watched the pieces stack up, and even drafted a post that read, "I won't survive this unless the truth comes out." But she never hit publish. Instead, she waited, hired a lawyer, and let the kiss cam be the confirmation her gut already screamed. And once her name disappeared, the internet switched sides. No longer just gossip, this was justice. This was solidarity. This was rage digitized. The moment Meghan disappeared, the receipts started appearing. First, it was one blurry spreadsheet posted anonymously at 2:17 a.m. On Reddit, a low-res bomb showing Uber charges lining up perfectly with Kristen Kitt's apartment address. Next came a trail of hotel bookings, just blocks from Astronomer's so-called quarterly offsites. And when TikTok sleuths cross-referenced that with Andy's keynote schedules, they found a mysterious 3-hour gap that no agenda could explain. Suddenly, it wasn't just suspicion, it was data. Then the Slack messages leaked. Late-night pings like, need to distress after that demo? You free? Followed by, room 722 again. And at that point, even the skeptics shut up. Because now it wasn't romance, it was coordination, digital paper trails backed by timestamps, expense reports labeled client dinners, but filed on weekends, florist charges from Kristen's neighborhood logged like clockwork every other Friday. Even security badge logs showed the CEO and HR head swiping in minutes apart after midnight. No one was hiding it well. The puzzle pieces fit too clean, and every time outrage started to cool, a new leak reignited the fire, Reddit turned into a forensic lab, TikTok turned into a courtroom, and everyone watching knew we weren't just talking about an affair anymore. We were witnessing the fall of a corporate empire in real time. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, the leaks hit a new level. This time, not about cheating, but about culture. Because ex-employees who'd stayed quiet for years suddenly flooded Blind, Glassdoor, and Reddit with horror stories that made Andy Byron look less like a CEO and more like a cult leader in a Patagonia vest. A 2023 Glassdoor review titled Brilliant Product. Brutal leadership went viral overnight, and it read like prophecy. Threads described 3 a.m. Slack pings marked urgent, launch goals so insane they came with burnout warnings. One engineer posted screenshots of a private Slack channel named Jang Stay Till It Ships, where Andy allegedly tracked green dots and shamed anyone who logged off before midnight. Another dropped a video from an old all-hands meeting showing Andy pacing the stage, quoting radical candor before snapping at a junior dev for a 1-pixel bug. And suddenly the kiss cam wasn't just a scandal, it was karma. Everything clicked. The man who crumbled under stadium lights had built a workplace driven by fear, control, and brutal optics. And now those optics had turned on him because investors don't panic over rumors, they panic over patterns. And this pattern was screaming one thing. The culture was rotten, the leadership was toxic, and the receipts weren't stopping. And then the spotlight turned to Kristen Kitt, the woman at the center of the kiss cam. And the irony was brutal, because she wasn't just another exec, she was the head of HR, the watchdog, the enforcer of every company policy, now burning in the fire she helped ignite. LinkedIn posts where she once bragged about earning the CEO's trust faster than a product demo turned into meme templates, plastered with clown emojis. Employees reposted her quotes with captions like, well, she wasn't lying, inside astronomer, trust shattered overnight, anonymous Slack channels exploded with messages like, if HR is on the kiss cam, who do we escalate to? Old HR complaints that had been buried in locked folders suddenly resurfaced as live Google Docs, circulating through group chats like underground zines. Every compliance slide deck now felt like a joke because the person teaching the rules was literally caught breaking them on camera with the CEO. And legally, the fallout was immediate if their relationship had never been disclosed. It opened the floodgates for lawsuits because now lawyers could question every raise, every performance review, every firing decision linked to her office. And the optics weren't just bad, they were radioactive. Law firms started tweeting, worked at Astronomer? Call us. Kristen went silent, locked her Twitter, froze her LinkedIn. Insiders whispered she was following counsel's advice, which usually means one thing: serious liability just landed. And while the board scrambled to contain the fire, employees renamed the HR channel DH Resources and turned every training slide into satire. Because when your head of HR becomes the company's biggest compliance risk, the game isn't just over, it's under investigation. While Astronomer was burning from the inside, the outside world lit the match again. Because once late-night comedians got wind of the scandal, it went from corporate crisis to cultural circus. Jimmy Fallon opened with a Coldplay parody and a fake kiss cam segment featuring CEOs ducking behind spreadsheets. The crowd lost it. Stephen Colbert followed with a deadpan HR now stands for hug ready and played a montage of Coldplay lyrics rewritten as HR violations. And then SNL dropped a teaser clip Kristen as a rogue Cupid, firing arrows into onboarding manuals while Andy dodged compliance forms on a stadium jumbotron. The internet exploded. Meme accounts mass-produced Coldplay Gate merch. Etsy blew up with Fix You, breakup mugs, and stickers of Andy mid-hug captioned algorithm error. Hashtags shifted from drama to full comedy. Number wishiest H romance trended, while Elon Musk chimed in with live by the data, die by the kiss cam. And just like that, the scandal locked itself into meme history. Because when the jokes hit mainstream, the damage becomes permanent, facts fade, but punchlines echo, and each new joke made astronomers' silence look less like a strategy and more like guilt. And inside those glass walls, that silence was about to shatter. Because when the memes stop, the shareholder calls begin. Exactly 48 hours after the kiss cam detonated, astronomers' board finally blinked. They dropped a cold, corporate press release just 8 lines long. Andy Byron was out effective immediately. No thank you. No farewell. Just a deactivated email and a VPN wipe. Kristen Kitt was placed on administrative leave, pending an independent review, which everyone knew meant legal triage had begun. Stepping in was co-founder Pete DeJoy, interim CEO, whose first move wasn't a pep talk or a town hall. It was a full spending freeze and a $200 000 a week crisis. PR firm with carbon offset invoices. Then came the investor call. 5 minutes of fake calm, followed by 30 minutes of chaos. Enterprise clients demanded answers, who was overseeing compliance while HR was playing date night with the CEO. Behind the scenes, the company's valuation dropped by 9 figures, quietly but catastrophically. Competitors pounced. Recruiters flooded LinkedIn with job ads that read, "Tired of midnight Slack pings?" Inside Astronomer, the vacuum of power turned into a war. Finance wanted control, product wanted vision, legal just wanted someone who wouldn't end up on a deposition transcript. The all-hands meeting that Friday was a bloodbath. Employees asked if bonuses were canceled, if reviews would be rerun, if anyone trusted HR again. DeJoy gave half legal, half PR answers that reassured no one. By Monday, LinkedIn showed a 300% spike in updated resumes, and worst of all, the company's prized analytics team, the people behind its core product, were now leaderless, trustless, and watching the empire they built crash in real time, all because of one 30-second hug under stadium lights. So what's the true cost of one kiss cam moment, one hug, one split-second decision caught on camera? In 2025, image isn't a brand, it's a bomb, and the second integrity slips, everything detonates. Andy Byron went from data genius to public disgrace in under 48 hours. Kristen Kitt went from HR enforcer to legal hazard with a single camera flash. Meghan Carrion said nothing but made more noise than any press release ever could, because when she deleted her name, the world found its moral compass. And when the receipts dropped, the memes took over, and suddenly, jokes weren't just funny, they were fatal. Because in this era, silence doesn't protect you, it convicts you, and every glitch, every Slack message, every delayed apology becomes a courtroom exhibit in the trial of public opinion. Astronomer didn't just lose a CEO, it lost credibility, trust, and the culture it claimed to value, all in the time it took for one stadium cam to zoom in. And here's the kicker, this isn't rare, because in today's world, power doesn't hide behind glass walls anymore. It hides in plain sight until someone presses record. And if one moment at a Coldplay concert can destroy a billion-dollar empire overnight, just imagine what your phone might catch tomorrow. If you want to see that next implosion before it breaks the internet, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and stay ready, because the algorithm's already buffering the next downfall.